If I'm storing the data and information which is not so necessary for my organization, it has to be removed. So in order to manage the information in an efficient and effective manner, so for that purpose we have a information lifecycle management. So here the main concern is what? If I have a information which is a quality information, then there will be a chances of saving the money. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Rohini TS from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So in our today's session, we are dealing with a B.C.A's final year, that is semester 5 of a subject called Cloud Computing and Big Data Analytics, and we are in the unit 2 of a session 4. As we all know that the unit name is Cloud Solution. So in the last class, we have discussed some of the topics regarding this unit 2. Let me continue with the next topics which will going to be covered in my today's session. So, in today's session, we will be learning about the cloud offerings. As we all know that information is an asset to the organization, so that management of that information, providing a security for that information, collecting it and gathering it and doing the purification of that information is too important. That will going to be served as a service by giving as a cloud offering. So as we all know that information will going to be enormously, it will going to be increased day by day. So the management of that information is very important. So that will going to be provided by the cloud offering. So in order to maintain that information, we have a information storage, retrieval opportunities will be there, archive, and we have a protection. So these many options needs to be presented to the information which is required for the calculations or which is required for the processing of the data to information. So organizations will going to provide or it will process, manage, move, protect and archive the various business data according to unique characteristics such as the age, usage, pattern. Based on these many parameters, organization will going to have a capability to process, manage, protect, and it will also going to analyze the data and it is going to archive the various activities of a data, like various business data will going to be archived, managed, controlled by the organization. So in order to manage the information in an efficient and effective manner, so for that purpose we have a information lifecycle management. So in short it will be termed as ILM. So here you can see the information lifecycle management diagram. So totally it consists of 7 stages. So first have to think about the planning. So have to think what are the informations I require and all. Then we have to collect it, we have to create, receipt and capture. After that it will going to be reached to the organization, then it will going to be used and dissemination. That means it has to reach to the customer or a person, those who are in need. After that maintenance is required, their protections and preservation is also important. Then disposition. That means if you don't want that information further, then it has to be removed from the database. After that we have to evaluate whether it is necessary or not. If not, then that will not going to be used further. So this cycle will going to be goes on like this. Why? Because data will going to be inputted every day and data will going to be removed every day. So that is based on the business activities which is taking place in the organization. And also now we'll see about the ILM objectives. So what are its objectives? Mainly related to cost reduction. So it has to reduce the cost in the terms of what? By controlling the demand for storage. Because if I'm storing the data and information which is not so necessary for my organization, it has to be removed. So we have to do the filtering of information and data, so then cost can be reduced and better system performance and personal productivity. So if I am getting the data and information which is required for my decision making, if I am getting it without any ambiguity or without any misplace of data or misuse of data, so that will also going to help in order to improve the productivity of a personnel. Along with it will going to have a better system performance by doing what? Doing the storage activities right. So if you are keeping informations or if you are having a data and information with an efficient storage management, then it will be termed as what? We are doing the activities right. And also it increases the effectiveness. How it will be increase the effectiveness? By doing the right storage activities. Are we doing right or we are doing the right thing? So those are the things you have to remember. So these are the objectives that you can expect with the help of this ILM. So it will reduces the cost and better system performance and personal productivity, then increase effectiveness. Then there are some ways to generate, enhance and sustain higher savings. So here the main concern is what? If I have a information which is a quality information, then there will be a chances of saving the money. That means we have to think about the perspective of cost also. It has to be reduced, whether it can be in the terms of customer, whether it can be in the terms of developer or an organization. The main thing is what? We have to pay some attention in order to reduce the cost wherever it is possible. So by ILM, what we can do? So there are some activities for gaining the initial saving. How can we do that? It will reduces the amount of used storage as a result of initial cleanup. So when it is having an initial cleanup, it is just going to act as a flush. It will remove all the contents which is already exist. So there also we can reduce the cost of gaining initial savings. And also activities for maximizing saving. How can we maximize the saving? By reconfiguring the current storage environment effectively will going to improve the available the raw utilization. So if I know the proper and efficient usage of a storage, then also there will be a possibility of increasing or improving the maximization of a storage or a saving. So for example, I have 5 GB of data. So instead of keeping the data and information which is not so necessary for my organization, by removing all those content, I can maximize the storage efficiency. So I can improve the storage efficiency. So within that 5 GB only I can manage the data and information. So no, I don't need to pay any extra pay or for in order to get extra storage space. So there also by that activities also I can maximize the saving. Next, activities for sustaining saving. How can we do that sustaining saving? Mainly gaining initial saving and maximizing the saving and sustaining saving. So develop storage architecture governance model. By generating or by developing a storage architecture governance model, it will going to guide how the structure must be, how the framework must be, how much of storage are we supposed to use. So by getting note to that, we can efficiently manage the storage space and we can manage the information and data in an efficient and effective manner. So next, we'll see about the operating cost categories. So this operating cost, for what are the purposes we have to pay? So for personnel, facilities, storage, hardware, and for the maintenance and storage software, maintenance as well as the outages. Along with that, we have some investment cost categories. So investment cost indicates that for what purpose, in order to get what thing are we investing. That means if I wanted to buy a new hardware, if I wanted to purchase any of the license software, for that and all we have to pay. So that includes new hardware required, new software required, hardware refresh and transition services. So if I wanted to do all these things, I have to give the maintenance cost as well as I have to invest the cost over there. So next, information management point. If I am saying information management life cycle, at that time it will going to include some of the points like data will be there, information life cycle management and information taxonomy, information classes, value driven data placement and storage processes, storage service as well as enterprise class of services. So these are the terminologies which will going to be related to this ILM or information life cycle management. And also here we have a new concept called cloud analytics. Now we got to know that what is the usage of information, how can we maximize the storage space, how can we reduce the cost in order to store that huge amount of data. So now we'll see about the analytics. Why this analytics is important? As we all know that historical data and current data will going to help me out in order to make a future decision. So that analysis is too important in order to get or in order to make a decisions in a efficient and effective manner. So here also, by having this cloud analysis, we can analyze what are the requirements of hardware or software, what are the new offerings that we can bring in the environment in order to satisfy the changing requirements of a customer as well as to satisfy the changing environment. So here cloud analytics is the new offering in the new era of cloud computing. So for what purpose we are using this cloud analytics? So this will help consulting domain and will ensure the better results. So if I analyze it very cleverly, at that time there will be a chances of highly and efficient usage of a storage as well as efficient usage of a information. So we will get to know what will going to happen in a market by next 10 days or by next 5 days. So if I get to know what will going to happen, then there will be a time in order to understand how can we sustain. So what are the precautions I can take, so what are the things we are supposed to face, everything if I get to know regarding this cloud offerings, regarding this cloud analytics, then that will surely gonna help the organization. So here it provides the user with better forecasting techniques in order to analyze and optimize the services lines and provides the higher level of accuracy. So if I don't know like how Airtel is working, how Jio is working, how Vodafone is working, if we don't know anything about all those things, what we are supposed to do? So we are blindly will go with some of the networking techniques or some of the networking models. But if I analyze it properly, what about the call rate, what about the net packs, how about the offers, if I analyze everything, then I can get a better improvements in the technology. That means I can have a better forecasting techniques. So here also in the cloud analytics, we just need to analyze what are the better thing that we can get out of it, whatever is already available. So here also this will going to help the user with better forecasting techniques in order to analyze and optimize the service line. So in order to improve the service, we have to analyze and it has to be optimized. Then it will going to provide a high level of accuracy. If there is more accuracy, there will be more security and speed is also high and performance will going to be improved. And also here you can see the analysis, how the cloud analysis will going to be taken place. And also we have this also helps to apply analytics principles and best practices to analyze the different business consequences and achieve the new levels of optimization. By having this cloud analytics, we can improve the business efficiency by analyzing the different business competencies or consequences. What are the problems are we supposed to face? How can I utilize that opportunity? If I get to know everything, then there will be a high level of optimization. But this is also possible only if we have this cloud analytics. So this can combine complex analytics with a newer software platform and will lead towards the predictable business out of every business insight. So if I'm having this cloud analytics with a high-ended or a top-ended software, by having the combinations or by integrating the cloud analytics as well as with a high-ended software, then by integrating those two, I can get a forecasting. That means I can get to know what will going to take place in the next 10 days or what will going to happen in the future days with respect to the business techniques or with respect to the business activities. So then that will going to help us in order to have a predictable business outcomes of every business insight. Then there will be gaining of more profits. So now we'll see how this cloud analytics will going to help or in order to improve the or supported by different types of competencies. So what is the first point here? Cloud business analytics strategy that helps cloud analytics and optimization. So this cloud analytics strategy will going to help the client analytics and optimization. So if I get to know what is this service is all about and what are the operators what are the operations can I perform by having these services. So by analyzing all those things, it will mainly help us in order to make a better decision, so that it provides different types or modeling techniques, deep computing and simulation technique in order to check different types of what if analysis to increase the performance. If I don't know anything about the cloud services, at that time blindly I can't go with any of the service or offerings. So if I get to know what if, so if will going to happen if I'm choosing this particular service, what if I choose these particular operators. So in that manner, if I get to know what will going to take place, so by having that strategy, I can improve the performance. So that is also considered as what? One of the competencies. And also we have business management and performance management helps increase the performance by providing accurate on-time data reporting. So if I'm having a cloud analytics, so here you can see that here it will going to generate a report, it will going to have a day by day forecasting, and also it will going to give you the future enhancement, and also regarding what are the traffic sources we have, and what are the citations we have, and who is taking what services, everything will going to be analyzed in an efficient manner. So if I get to know that, that will going to help me in order to increase the performance by providing the accurate and on-time data reports. So this cloud analytics will going to give the report on a daily basis. So if I'm looking over that reports at that time, that will going to help me in order to get to know what is actually happening. And also enterprise information management that lets the user to apply different architecture related to data extraction, archival, retrieval, movement and integration. So by having this cloud analytics, this enterprise information management, that will going to helps in order to allow the collaboration of different kinds of technologies or a technique in order to improve the business performance by the client. So if it is not allowing me, for example, this cloud analytics is not allowing or not analyzing the image text or not analyzing the videos, not analyzing the audios, then there could be a possibility of missing of data. But this cloud computing or cloud analytics helping us to integrate all the kinds of services, like it is helping the user to apply different architecture which is related in order to have a data extractions, data retrieval, archival, and if I don't want it, I just wanted to remove movement, integration. For all these things, this cloud analytics will going to give us a platform. And also content management that includes different service architecture, technology architecture and process which is related to capturing, storing and preserving, delivering and managing the data. So by having this cloud analytics competencies, this allows this content management will going to include, or it will allows in order to have a different architectural designs, patterns and also technology architecture, processes which is related to capturing, storing and preserving and delivering of that and managing of that data. So if all these services are provided to the user, at that time that also helps the user in order to get high performance. Then how this cloud analytics will going to work? So as we all know that this analytics will going to include all the things which is related to hardware, services and also middleware. So it will going to combine all the hardware, software and middleware which is required for the organization, and this expertise make it best suited to help the clients extract new value from their business information. This analytics will going to give the information to the client about the organizations based on combining the hardware, software as well as the middleware. So if I combine all those things, I will get to know what is happening exactly in the organization. So that will help the clients in order to make a better decision in order to go with which kind of service. So if you see any of the YouTube analytics, YouTube video analytics, at that time they are going to give you the analytics regarding on what basis they are watching, whether it is entertainment purpose or a comedy, or whether it is related to education, whether it is related to any of the harassment. All the analytics will be there. For example, who are all the user, like whether they are subscribed one or unsubscribed one, are they from only this particular area or a country, or the user is from foreign countries. Every analytics will going to given. So if I get to know analytics about any of the organizations or any of the enterprise, at that time I can make a better choice. So this cloud analytics is also going to help us in the way like this. And also by delivering the business analytics and information software which is required seamless flow of all the forms of data regardless of format, platform as well as the location. It does not depend on any of the location or its pattern or its format. Instead of all those things, it is just going to give the data and information which is required for the users or a client, so that it focuses on the open industry standards. There is no hide and seek play. So every data and information will going to be reached to the customer. That will help them in order to provide the data for reporting analytics which is based on the text mining activities. Along with that, it has a business intelligence and dashboard, and it also has a concern regarding the perceptive analytics techniques. It is not only going to do these many things. Along with that, it will going to take care about the storage optimization and which is different high performance data warehouse management techniques. So it is also going to take care about the storage optimization. If the storage optimization takes place, then there will be more chances of getting holding the data and information which is so valuable. So after doing this analytics, what will be the outcome? What I can get out of this analysis? I can get the right information. So I can get the right information which will be helpful in order to make a business decisions. And also here you can see another topic, that is testing under cloud. So now we are done with the analysis. I just wanted to test any of the deployed or any of the developed content on the cloud. What is the main usage of testing under the cloud? As we all know that we are doing it virtually. So we are not paying any money. We are not installing any of the additional hardware or software. We are just doing as it is on the online. However, we are going to do it physically or in the physical environment. All the data and information which is going under the testing on the cloud. So at that time, this mainly provides a good return on investment on moving typical testing environment to the cloud. So having a typical environment of a testing is moving from that physical testing into cloud testing. At that time, this will going to help in so many ways. How it will be helped? For example, if I after the testing, if I am getting large amount of errors, or if I don't want it to deploy that particular data and information to the cloud, at that time what we can do, I can just cancel that project. So if I am cancelling, I won't lose any of the hardware or software, and also it will not going to charge anything for that. So that is the main advantages of testing under the cloud. And also it will going to allows the flexibility to play with a surrogate of the real system without the actual risk. So if something goes wrong, then there will be no risk because we are doing it virtually. Okay, and also we have some of the benefits in order to have this cloud analytics. That means we are testing under a cloud. What are the benefits we can get? Cut capital and operational cost and not affect mission critical applications. So if we are doing it virtually, so that it will going to reduce us the capital investment and operational cost, and also it is not going to affect anything related to mission criteria of application. If something goes wrong with application, that does not affect on any of the application. And also this will going to offer new and innovative services to the client and present an opportunity to speed cycle of innovation and improvement solution facility and quality. So that is the main thing. So we can do the innovative services, like we can get the innovative services. Why? Because we are doing it everything as a virtual things. If something goes wrong, we won't lose anything. It's like a trial and error version. So there will be a stage for innovation, and also it will going to facilitate a test environment which is based on the request and provide a request based service for storage, network and operating system. If I wanted to do it online, or if I wanted to do it with the help of cloud, at that time we have to request first. So if the request is accepted, at that time we can that will going to provide a request based which is services which related to the storage and network as well as the operating system. So by making use of all these components, I can do it, or we can test the data and informations or any of the applications or any of the services over the cloud. Next, we'll see about the value proposition. So here, Business Test Cloud delivers an integrated, flexible and extensible approach in order to test resources services management with rapid time to value. It is mainly what value proposition, in the sense we are giving more weightage to the time. So we are giving more weightage to the reduction in the cost. So here, this is an end-to-end set of services to strategize, design and build request-driven delivery of test resources in a cost-effectiveness and efficient manner. So by having this cloud analytics, or by doing this testing under a cloud, there will be a reduction in the cost, as well as it will going to do it with the help of faster time. That is, there will be a value for the time, and it is an end-to-end set of services. Like it will going to give you the solution for all the kinds of problem by giving the strategies and design, and also helps to build request driven delivery of a test resources in a cost effective and efficient manner. So main concern is regarding time as well as the money. And here you can see the main benefit of having this cloud offering called testing under the cloud. What is that? With ability to deploy virtual environment quickly and automatically and redirect the capacity as needed, cloud computing offers an ideal solution for the testing and development. So we are doing it over online or a cloud. So there will be a elasticity, there will be a flexibility, and cost is also going to be reduced, and it is automatic in nature, and also it redirect the capacity as per the requirements of a customer. And also it helps to have a cloud computing. By having all these things, it somehow will be considered as what? One of the best offering which cloud can have. And also we'll see the next topic related to information security. As we all know that information is an asset for the organization. So securing that information is very, very important. So information security risks are potential damages to information assets. So if some damages happens to the information, then that will going to breaches the security. So here information security risk are potential damages to the information, and successful organization take a risk based on approach of a information security. So organization will going to take a risk regarding the security. So then risk can be quantified by expected damage. What are the damages can be happen to the information? It can be related to value of asset, and some vulnerabilities, some hacking things can go takes place, and also it can include threats. So if you have if you are not providing a security for information, then there will be a breaching of security. So that we require a security controls. What is this security controls? So these are the safeguards or countermeasures in order to avoid or to minimize the information security risk. So it has to be very robust. It has to safeguard the information which is confidential, and also it must be effective, so that it has the ability to mitigate the given risk, and also should be adaptive in nature. So it has to adapt all the kinds of risk. It should not differentiate whether it is a simple risk or a which is more efficient or more high risk. It should not bother about that. So it has to adapt to the changing risk. Then how can we have a controls over the information security? There are three types. One is preventive, detective and corrective. So preventive in the sense what? I have to prevent the system should not get into the information risk. So by taking some service control, by taking some security controls, we can prevent the attacks. That is related to preventive. And detective. So something is going wrong. So I have to detect what is happening in my information system. Is somebody is hacking, if somebody is snatching the data from the organization, I have to detect. So if I am not able to detect, then I can't diagnose it. So it has to be detected. And then corrective. So everything got over. So at least now, in order to save the information, how much is possible, then we have to have the correctiveness for the given information which is already security has been breached. So these are the methods are information security things. Next, we'll see the virtual desktop infrastructure. Virtual desktop infrastructure will going to provide the end user virtualization solution. So that means what? It will going to allow the end user to use the computers or PCs as they really exist. That will be termed as what? Virtualization or a virtualized desktop infrastructure. So whatever they can do with a PC, they can be done. But the PC does not exist physically, but all the content or all the resources of that PC or any of the desktop is readily available in order to satisfy the requirement of a customer. So here, this is designed to help the transform distributed IT architectures in order to virtualize open standard based framework leveraging the centralized IT services. So IT has several branches. So in order to satisfy or in order to satisfy the requirement of an organization as well as a customer, there will be situations that they can't offer desktop environment for everybody. Instead of that, they can purchase or they can opt the virtualized desktop environment. It will going to be exist virtually, and whatever the things that you are going to do with a physical computer or physical desktop, everything can be done with a virtualization desktop environment also. So we are going to do it over the cloud. That is the main difference. That's it. The notion behind the virtual desktop infrastructure is to run the desktop operating system and applications inside the virtual machines that resides on the servers in the data center. So it is going to be helpful to the organization in order to allow the customer or in order to allow the designer or developers in order to use the desktop infrastructure under the cloud. That will be termed as what? Virtual machine. So this will going to be connected or which will going to be resides on the server in the data center. So directly all the data and information can be directly tracked. So that is one of the important aspect which we need to consider regarding virtual data infrastructure or virtual desktop infrastructure, and this is also called as virtual desktop. Here, user access a virtual desktop through their desktop PC because all the content is resides on a data center. That data center has some servers. So servers can be directly accessible by the user as their PC. As we did the virtualization for the desktop infrastructure, we can also do it for the server virtualization. So here also it is the masking of server resources including the numbers and identity of individual physical servers, processors and operating system from the server users. So this is also, there is a possibility of virtualizing the server. That means we can get a direct access to the server over a cloud. So this will going to have or this will going to mask the server resources by including the number and identity of an individual physical server along with the processor and operating system from the server user. Those who are using that particular server, what is their identity number and what is their identity of individual physical server along with the things which is related to processor and what kind of operating system they are using, everything can be virtualized. So that is related to server virtualization. So here virtualized desktop infrastructure delivers solutions that consist of optional portal interface and thin client and PC with client components or web browser. So if I am having a virtual desktop infrastructure, that will going to include portal interface and also thin client. That means server is not needed at that time. That server will going to be acts as a virtual component, and also we have a PC with client component as well as the web browser. So in order to fetch the data and information, web browser is also important. So this going to deliver a common standard based resilient IT infrastructure. So here resilient in the sense what? It must have a ability to adapt the changing environment requirement. So here that security rich, scalable, and it provides a single point consistent access from a wide. So when we are if you consider the branches of an organization, if all the branches have a accessibility to the single server, then that is also one of the main things. So if they are able to access the same server, then there will be a sharing of resources will going to be takes place in an efficient manner. So here you can see that this virtual desktop infrastructure will going to create a framework that will going to offer many advantages, which are those then cost reduction. There will be more flexibility, cost will going to be reduced. Why? Because no need to purchase any of the hardware or software which is required for the organization. And also this provides a security and availability because it is in the cloud all the time, it is available, and it is going to improve the efficiency. And also we can have a enterprise level of advantage, and also we can have a client access to all the desktop manager helps the user to connect to their desktop to server. So if a desktop is connected to server, then there will be a privilege of accessing all the content which is resides in the server, and we can have it in the terms of desktop virtualization services, and also it includes desktop management, then pool management for VDI, that is virtual desktop environment. So in all these perspective, we have to think how this server virtualization or a desktop virtualization will going to help out. I hope you all understood. Let me meet you in the next session with a continuation of Unit 2 itself, that is cloud solutions. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.